I don't think it's just it's kind of like an ongoing problem that's been around for some time.
Well, yes, that's true.
The whole idea of the winners writing history, sure.
Yeah, I mean, all the different colonies, they were all just different religions. Maryland was a Catholic colony, and
well,
there's nothing in the Constitution that doesn't stop a state from founding its own religion, only Congress.
Actually there is. It's called the 14th Amendment that extends the first.
Well, what does that say?
That all of the things that apply to the federal government apply to the states as well.
Oh, okay. I'm glad to hear that.
You're upset because I don't know Texas history, and yet you didn't know the 14th Amendment. See, but nobody's taken the 14th Amendment away. It's still there.
I'm not blaming you. I'm like I say, it was news to me when I even heard anything about this, and I was kind of hoping that you being from Texas, you would have had some.
I'm not from Texas.
If you caught
living in Texas.
If you caught the start of the show, I believe Matt mentioned that there will be a gathering at the Capitol to protest the shenanigans of the State Board of Education. We're not unaware that there is a problem, and we're
doing all we can. Yeah, it's just that there's limits. I mean, these are elected officials, and then one of them gets appointed to be the head by the governor, and then they go and make decisions virtually in a vacuum. They can pretty much say the hell with what everybody else thinks, because that's exactly what they've been doing. So we're part of a rally. The ACA isn't organizing, but we're part of it. Next Sunday, beginning at 11 o'clock at the Capitol. We're hoping to have thousands of people down there to let the State Board of Education know that while they can continue to revise history and ignore the public and pollute the minds of the next generation, they can't keep doing it with people remaining silent. And I think once this issue gets a little more attention, I hope we'll see quite a few more of them voted off.
I hope you're right.
All right, Ted, thanks a lot.
All right.
We got Shane. You there?
Yes, I'm here.
How you doing?
Hi.
What's up, Shane?
My family is mostly believers, and I'm an atheist. Mm-hmm. My brother's about 8 years old right now, and he's starting to learn about God and wanting to go to church. Mm-hmm. And his father is really supportive of this. He wants him to learn about God and all this. But I think he's too young to be learning about this, especially in the way that the church tries to teach it. And I think he should at least wait until he's old enough to make a rational decision about it. But the fact is that I'm 15 years old, and I have to live in this house for a few more years before I can get out on my own.
And even then, you're not going to have an effect on how your brother's raised, really. Yeah, you're limited in what you can actually do.
Yeah.
But you can still be an honest, caring brother to your brother, and nobody's too young to start learning to think critically.
You still there, Shane?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
You don't even have to do it in a religious context. There's plenty of ways to introduce skepticism and critical thinking, which I would argue even most religious people would think are valuable tools, to kids. Science fairs. Russell talked about teaching Ben the real versus imaginary stuff. So there's plenty of options, and especially as a big brother, because he's probably looks up to you right now and probably will for a long time.
Yeah, he does. I just want to get some advice. I want to make sure that if I do something, it's not going to cause too much of a problem in the next couple of years while I'm still living in this house.
Well, I mean, you have to be the judge of that. We're not in your situation. We can't tell you what the boundaries are in your family. But, another thing is a lot of people go through believing in religion for a few years and then get out of it. I did, Matt did. even if you see your little brother going religious for a while, that's not the end of the world. He's 8 years old, and he's going to largely believe what he's told. But you can be there for him. You can give him honest answers to questions he has. You can give him useful advice, and then see what happens.
I mean, obviously, your parents aren't making. Do they know you're an atheist?
Well, my mom does. My stepdad does not. I don't know how he'd react.
Yeah, so you've got the extra complication of step parents and siblings, etc. I'm reluctant to give any advice at all, considering you're a minor. What I tend to tell, I've had like 15-year-olds write before and say, look, I'm an atheist, but my folks are making me go to church and whatnot. And what I tell them all is, until you are self-sufficient, you're stuck in their house, and do what you can and continue to be the same respectful, caring, loving kid that they've always known. And if they make you go to church, go and take lots of notes and ask lots of questions. And that way they'll know that your atheism is not just a phase or an act of rebellion, that you have openly and honestly considered what their religion has to say, that you didn't shirk, you weren't afraid of church, and that type of thing, and that you came to a conclusion on your own. And if they can't respect that, then they don't really have a good understanding of what it means to respect and care about somebody. But you are, stuck until you're self-sufficient. And the best thing is that, it's obvious you care about what happens to your little brother. And so I'm not too worried about either of you. It may not be easy. You might find yourself in difficult situations, but if you are, honest and continue to care about the truth and your brother, and, you're not trying to necessarily subvert what your parents are doing or what your stepdad's doing, I think you'll probably come out okay.
All right, thank you.
Sure. And if somebody wanted to point out that teaching your brother how to figure things out for himself, this process of discovery, of investigation, is valuable. I mean, I don't think that you just happened to decide one day to be an atheist. You probably had a similar process of investigation and discovery, and I think that those are things you can teach.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for your call, and good luck.
Yeah. As a reminder, after the show's over here in about 10 minutes or so, we get together and go to dinner at Threadgill's on Riverside Drive. Any atheist or atheist-friendly person is welcome to come to any of the ACA events. You don't have to be a member to attend. But if you're coming down to preach, proselytize, provoke, or pontificate about solipsism, please don't. We got Sean in the Bronx. How are you?
Hey there, guys. Good evening. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I was wondering if you know anything or have any opinions regarding presuppositionalist apologetics.
Is this the there must be a rational reason thing?
Well, it's. I mean, to be honest, I'm not exceptionally familiar with it. I'm familiar with it more from a DVD with Douglas Wilson and Christopher Hitchens called Collision. You might be familiar with it.
I haven't watched that yet.
And Douglas Wilson uses this tactic of apologetics, this presuppositionalist tactic, specifically Van Tillian presuppositionalism it's called. And as I understand it, basically it says that the Bible is the source of truth, and since it's the pillar, the foundation of truth, you have to assume it, and to try to disprove the Bible or to try to argue against God, you need to accept the logic that the Bible provides you with.
Well, that's bullshit.